All right, welcome to day 2. Today we're going to talk about mnemonic devices, and those are just ways that'll help you remember what you're learning. Full disclosure, this lecture is a little droll. Like many things that are super important, this lecture has a little bit of boredom in it, and I'm sorry, but you got to pay attention. Not only is this lecture going to help you in my class, it'll help you in all classes, it'll help you in high school, it'll help you in college. Trust me, this is information I wish someone had taught to me earlier on in my academic career. So here, let's get started. Oh, so many words, I'm scared. Don't worry, you can write some of this down. I'm going to give you a PDF that has all of this, but let's go over it, okay? Categorical clustering, you might do this already. You're just going to organize the list of items into a category. We'll talk about all of these, so if it doesn't make sense, don't worry. This is just a preview, okay? Interactive images. You create an image with all the words on the list. So let's pretend the list is stick, apple, hat. Well, you create an image of a guy wearing a hat and he's hitting the apple with the stick. And that way, if you remember the image, you can remember all the items. Does that make sense? Okay, these are the shortcuts to help your brain work better for you, okay? Don't worry if you don't know them all. What you want to do is learn all of them and then pick 2 or 3 that you think you're really good at. And then these are going to be shortcuts that'll help you. Let's keep going. Peg word, you associate a new word with a previously memorized list. This one's the most important in a lot of ways. Method of loci, you visualize walking around an area with distinctive landmarks that you know well. The way your brain works, okay? Go back 10,000 years. You're a hunter-gatherer. You need to know where the food is and where the water is. And so your visuospatial recognition, okay, your awareness in the world links to your memory. And so if you can pretend walking around your house and each item in your house is associated with a quiz answer, then when you take the test or the quiz, you just walk around your house and get all the answers right. Does that make sense? You're using what your brain is naturally good at, but then you're adapting it to school. I know. What do I want to say about this one? Well, let's just keep going. Acronym, you know this one. Devise a word in which each of its letters stand for a certain word. Okay, FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, something like that. You know, the letters equal the word. Acrostic is a little different. That's where you form a sentence. The one that's the most important, or excuse me, the one I remember the most. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and then each one of those words means something in the process of math. So it was parentheses, exponents, etc., etc. Keyword system, words that sound similar. This is usually used for learning a foreign language. We don't have to worry about this one as much. Okay, there's going to be a video on a video.
Ron is going to ask strangers in the heart of New York City to test him.
Well, we're going to try to snag some people off the street here, and I'm going to see if I can memorize the serial numbers in their pockets and maybe win a little money in the process. There's 8 numbers on every dollar bill with two letters. How about these ladies? Hey, ladies. How are you? My name's Ron.
Ebony.
Ebony, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Melissa, good to meet you.
Demetria.
Demetria. I got a challenge for you. Y'all got some dollar bills in your pockets?
I don't know. I mean, what are you doing with the dollar bills? What are we doing here?
Well, we're going to see if I can memorize it. If I can memorize the serial numbers, then I get to keep the money. And if I can't, I'll double the money and give it back to you. Is that a challenge?
Yeah,
You like that?
Oh, Washington here.
Ron's going to memorize not just one serial number, but 4, all in one go.
He doesn't have that one. No.
You don't think I have that one?
Read it again. We'll give you 5 more seconds.
I think I got that one. I think I'm good. How y'all think I do it? You think I'm doing it?
No, you're not.
Take it from the top. F 25731466 N.
You got it.
Booyah, baby! Next one now. F 5275 3516R.
I'm sorry.
E 35153043E.
What were the last three? No.
You ladies don't like parting with your money very easy, all right? And this last one was B 42417153K. That wasn't very, y'all weren't very happy. All right.
So how does Ron do it?
Number one, if you focus on something, your memory's probably better than you think it really is. And then the second takeaway is if you can learn how to somehow visualize what you want to remember, maybe a 4 is car because it's got 4 doors and 4 tires, a 9 for cat because a cat has 9 lives.
By turning numbers into pictures or objects, Ron then creates what he refers to as memory maps.
When I want to memorize something, I just take whatever it is I want to memorize and I turn it into a picture and then I place it on pieces of furniture in my house. And then to recall the string of digits, I just walk back through my house and I tell you what I'm seeing on my furniture. It's just a system of creating a map in your head.
So, a couple of things I want to bring up. One is when you go to learn something new, the fastest way, ask the experts. That guy's one of the experts in how to memorize things. So hey, how do you do it? And then just copy him. That's usually a good place to start. And what he's doing is he's coming up with interactive images, and he's also using the method of Loki, and he's combining them, and he's using that, and that's how he can remember stuff quickly and easily, and that's what I want for you. Okay, cool. So, categorical clustering. Now we're kind of just breaking down what we had started off with earlier. So let's pretend you need to remember this big long list. Apples, milk, bagels, grape, yogurt, rolls, cheese, grapefruit. It's a long list. But if you categorize it, so you put it into categories, fruits, dairy, and bread, well then your brain is more likely to remember all the items. Because instead of, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, instead of remembering 8 things, you're remembering 3 things, okay? 3 right here. And so you're like, oh, what were the fruits? Oh yeah, apples, grapes, grapefruit. What was the dairy? Oh, da. And so in this class, what was the geography? Oh yeah, those 5 items. Who were the people that we needed to remember? Oh yeah, those 4 guys. And then something else. So if you remember geography, people, and then maybe battles. And so you just have these 3 things that you focus on, and then that's going to help you remember stuff for the quiz or for the test. How's that sound? Sound good? Awesome. Interactive images. Okay, so you need to remember socks, apples, and a pair of scissors. Why do you need to remember that? I don't know, but someone made this slide. Okay, I made it, by the way. You imagine the scissors, they cut a hole in the sock and the apple falls out. Okay, you're creating an image so that you're remembering one image rather than a bunch of different things. So you need to remember, I don't know, you need to remember George Washington, the Battle of Trenton, crossing the Delaware, and so you remember him, the image of him on the boat crossing the river or something, I don't know. But does that make sense? You come up with an image that has the different facts that you need to know. All right.
The first person, obviously, that I would like to introduce so everybody understands who you're kind of aiming for today is our defending champion from Texas, and that's Ron White. Ron, can you please stand up?
When I first read about it, I heard these memory guys were memorizing these numbers and these cards, and I was like, there's no way, there's no way I could memorize a deck of cards in under 2 minutes. And I did. Basically, to remember anything, you need a place to store it. You need a place to put the information. So let's say now I wanted to memorize 5 pictures that represented the presidents of the United States. And then once I have my 5 spots selected, these become places where I want to store whatever I want to remember. I would take the first president, which is Washington, I would turn it into a picture, and I would see a washing machine interacting with the Bank of America sign. Maybe see the clothes flying out and the soap going everywhere, but a washing machine on Bank of America.
And then right here on number 2, which is the American Eagle sign, I would visualize a dam, and the dam's breaking and it's filling up with water and it's flooding this area because a dam for atoms. And then number 3, I would pretend like that basketball player had a chef's hat on. Third president was Jefferson or Jefferson. And then I would visualize NyQuil falling all over the stock market over there. The 4th president was Madison, and so I would put medicine over there. And candy, I might put a man in a rowboat. First of all, I have a lot of respect for my competitors. Nelson Dellis is a guy who was a surprise last year, and then breaks one of my records, the nerve of the guy. You know what I'm saying? So he's a guy who could walk away with it this year.
In terms of training, I do about 3 to 4 hours a day. For about a year, I've been doing that. I'll do, numbers, cards, names and faces, poetry. Going to this competition, I just have to kind of rely on my training and hope to get those scores.
Okay, mental athletes, if you are ready, you may begin.
I got this glossary in my head that I know that Steve equals stove, Lisa equals the Mona Lisa, Brian equals a brain. So then when I meet somebody and his name's Brian and he's got really thick eyebrows, I see a brain coming out of his eyebrows. His name's Brian.
Papers over, pencils and pens down, please.
You talk to like an Olympic swimmer or something, like they're intense in the water, but out of the water they may be like the slowest, kind of chill back. They're not always an athlete, right? So a lot of people expect me to always have an awesome memory, which is not necessarily the case. I can kind of turn it on, when I need it. A lot of people think that, okay, this is not for me, I have horrible memory, but that's the thing, is like, I didn't have a good memory. I just had, a little desire to do something.
Five minutes remaining.
The hard part about numbers is that a number is really abstract. But what mental athletes do is we'll learn kind of a way to translate those into pictures. So like 32, 3 stands for C, 2 is B. So CB, I thought of Charlie Brown.
Yes, I did.
Good job, man. New USA record. Yeah?
What's your name?
Kaylee.
How old are you?
6.
And what are we about to do?
Memorize the president
And how you gonna do that?
by furniture.
Furniture. Okay, here we go. If I ask someone, can you imagine opening the front door and walking me through your house? And if you can do that, you can become a memory champion.
Jefferson.
There you go. Jefferson 4.
Madison.
Madison 5. They have a deck of cards, and you pick it up, and you run through it as fast as you can, and then you pick up a second deck of cards and reassemble that one to match the first deck without looking at it.
They are 49 to 50. What do we get? 1 minute 33?
No, 3
No,
seconds.
1 minute, 03 seconds.
1
That's
minute
the
and
record.
3 seconds?
Yes.
Oh my good. 103. It's our new U.S. record. Almost broke the minute mark. 1 minute and 3 seconds. Oh, 1 minute and 3 seconds. 3 of diamonds it is.
6 of spades.
6 of spades.
2 of hearts.
Okay.
Jack of spades.
4 of hearts.
A lot of competitors in this sport, they became kind of obsessed with improving even more.
8 of diamonds. 4 of hearts.
Karen, how many cards you have?
You kind of harness this power in your brain and you're like,
72 cards.
Oh, I would just like to be the first one to congratulate the new USA champion, Nelson Dellis.
this is pretty crazy. Like, how far can I push?
Okay, so what are the takeaways from that video? First, he says, I wasn't born this way. You just have to have a little bit of desire. You have to want. You have to want to win. You have to want to learn. If you guys want to learn this stuff, you will learn it. This class is not impossible. If I say, hey, you need to know where the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers are, boom, you can learn that. You just have to want to. You have to want to memorize some of this stuff. And by doing that, you're going to learn it. Okay, so that comes from you. Nobody can teach you that. You've got to want to win. All right? What else? You saw his daughter going through, again, using that method where you just kind of walking through. If I said, name, how many things can you name in your house? I bet you that list is over 100. If I say, tell me about your favorite movie, I bet you could write pages and pages. I could tell you Star Wars. I could write the whole thing down. Okay, if you're into it and you watch it and you think about it, you can memorize stuff. All right, peg word system. This is how you memorize numbers. In this class, we have some dates, but it's not too crazy. So the word list is, 1 bun, 2 shoe, 3 tree. They're just they rhyme. And then you associate the numbers with the words on the list. I promise you, I haven't looked at this slideshow in over a year, and I can tell you it has something to do with the bun going through the gate, and it's 186 and that's the speed of light, 186,000. So look, I can remember stuff from a year. You can too.
The peg system. The peg system is useful for remembering numbers. It uses key words which are represented by numbers. For example, 1 equals bun, 2 shoe, 3 tree, 4 door, 5 drive, 6 sticks, 7 heaven, 8 gate. Remember, the speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. Imagine an iced bun, 1, walking through a gate, 8, made of sticks, 6, 186.
All right, so hopefully you guys will find that helpful. We're almost done here. Look, it's interesting, right? And it's going to be helpful. And you can see how this is going to help you throughout your education, right? Okay, you're walking around an area with distinctive landmarks that you know well, and you associate these landmarks with something. This is that method of loci. So you're walking by, you walk from here to the lake, the Frisbee golf course, you see the highway, you imagine throwing that apple into the lake, you see the sock on the golf course, and then scissors cutting through the highway. And so then when you walk, you take that walk, you can remember all the items that you needed to know. So you can put different items around with locations that you're familiar with. So you take stuff you already know in your head and you just kind of add something new onto them, and then you'll remember them better. Okay, great. Acronym, okay, news, north, east, west, south. Okay, acronym, you take each word and the first letter and you make a word, right? Acronym, we feel good about that one. That one's easy. Acrostic, here it is. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, add, subtract. These are the orders of operations for math. Okay, I'll remember this for the rest of my life, and then that's called acrostic. Very good. Keyword system, you'll use this one the least, but bear, the word for bear in French is bière, and it sounds like, or the word for butter, the French word for butter is bière, so bière. Okay, this is, okay, this last one is best when you're learning a foreign language. The French word for butter is bière, so you associate bear with butter, and you imagine a bear eating butter, and then that's how you can learn a new language a little bit. Look, that one's, you're going to use that one the least. Let's just be honest.
Hey, what is going on, guys?
Okay, hold on, I got to show you this. This is a study tip. Hold on, red alert, big red star. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, this is a study tip on how to study the information, how to do it right, how to do it efficiently. Okay, you don't just have a stack of note cards. You need to have a system. The system helps you learn, but it also saves you time so you can go play your video games, right? We want to learn this, right? I'm not saying don't play games. I'm saying get the A, then play games. Cool? Let's do it.
Hey, what is going on, guys? So I think we can all agree that studying takes far, far too much time. So what I want to do in this video is show you guys how you can remember more of what you learn, even if you're spending fewer actual hours studying. And the way to do that is by spacing out that study time. This is a technique called spaced repetition, and to do it, you add progressively longer and longer time intervals in between each of your study sessions. So in this video, I want to show you into your own study systems. And we're going to talk about apps and computer programs that you can use in a minute here, but first I want to talk about a system system that you can use with your paper flashcards, which is called the Lightner system. And here's how it works. The first step is to decide on a number of boxes that you're going to use to hold the cards in your system. Now, I don't actually own little boxes, so I've just substituted rubber bands and sticky notes that say box, but that actually works just as well and actually makes the system more portable, so that's pretty cool. And from there, each individual box is going to represent a different study time interval. So box 1 might be studying every day, box 2 might be studied every other day, and so on. And when you're studying your cards in the boxes, every time you get a card right, it's going to graduate to the next box. So you're going to see it less and less often. But if you get a card wrong, it's going to go all the way to box number 1, no matter where it was. And by using this system, you get 2 main benefits. Number 1, you're maximizing your learning through the spacing effect, but number 2, you're also studying more efficiently because you're spending more time on the cards that need the most attention and less time on the ones you know really well, rather than studying every single card equally. Now, this paper system works really well for both of those goals, but if you want to take advantage of more advanced scheduling algorithms and other features, you're going to need to find yourself a spaced repetition app.
Okay, so what that guy's saying is a couple of things. First off, have you ever tried to cram the night before a test? Yeah, me too. That's not going to work as well. Just like an instrument. Learning an instrument, if you do 1 hour a week, that you won't learn it as well as if you just do 5 minutes a day. Well, 5 minutes a day is less than 1 hour a week. It's about learning more often, and then you actually study less time, which gives you more free time for Mario. So that's what you want to do. But some of that stuff you know, some of those note cards you know really well. So those are going to advance into, I only study those every other day or even once a week. That way you're just focusing on the cards that you're not getting right, and you're going to study those every day. Eventually, more cards end up in the farther pile where you're only studying once a week. Then you're studying less often because it's actually in your brain and you don't have to study it as much anymore. Does that make sense? If you have any questions, let me know. Of all the stuff we learned today, the 2 most important things, using your visual spatial memory, which just means taking stuff you learned and put it at your house or put it on a walk so that you can imagine just kind of going through your house or going on through the park and seeing all that stuff. It's way easier than trying to just memorize it, okay? Try to attach to places. The other thing is this study habit, okay? Make note cards and then use that system. Don't just randomly flip through them. That's not going to work. You need to know what you know and know what you need to know better. That way you can be efficient, get an A, and play Mario. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Next time we see each other, it'll be our first real history lesson. So take care and have a great day.